Series Wrap Up Designer Babies Reprogramming Humanity, One Genome at a Time. Welcome back to School of Soul. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the final episode in the Designer Babies series. We've spent 18 episodes pulling apart a question that most people aren't even ready to ask. What happens when we stop being born and start being built? When conception shifts from divine to digital? When biology becomes architecture? When your future child is no longer a mystery but a spreadsheet? This isn't sci-fi anymore. It's happening now. The age of designer babies is already here. Quietly, clinically, and globally unfolding through CRISPR, IVF, embryo scoring, artificial wombs, and gene therapy. But what's being edited isn't just DNA. It's destiny. We started this series with the illusion of choice. The idea that creating life through technology is just an upgrade. A smarter, safer, more compassionate way forward. But the deeper we looked, the clearer the cost became. Because when you swap mystery for metrics, when you replace wombs with wires, intention with prediction, alignment with performance, you don't just change the outcome, you change the origin. The child of the future is no longer arriving through intuition. They're arriving through instruction. And that instruction is based on fear. Fear of disease, fear of disability, fear of unpredictability, fear of failure, fear of the child that doesn't fit the mold. But life was never meant to fit a mold. That's the point. That's the soul's entrance exam. Can you thrive inside the chaos? Let's recap what we've covered. We talked about CRISPR, the molecular scalpel that can now edit human embryos before they're born. We discussed gene editing and how the line between healing and enhancement is already blurred. We examined the first gene-edited children, Lulu and Nana, who weren't born with miracle traits, but were launched into a lifelong experiment. We explored polygenic scoring and the rise of embryo selection based on IQ, height, temperament, and appearance. We looked at how natural selection is being replaced by unnatural selection and how the demand for better babies is reinforcing classism, ableism, and perfectionism under the soft branding of reproductive choice. We named the quiet return of eugenics 2.0, this time wrapped in luxury fertility packages instead of state mandates. We investigated Save Your Siblings, children born not to live, but to save someone else. We unpacked the rise of aesthetic selection, where blue eyes and blonde hair top the request lists. And we asked what happens when children are born for beauty, not belonging. We looked at the creation of superhumans, biotech-enhanced bodies for military, sport, and elite professions. We questioned the weakening of immunity caused by over-editing biology. We tackled patent wars and the chilling possibility that one day your child's body might belong, legally, to a biotech corporation. We asked if science can edit the soul, or if it's trespassing sacred ground. And in the final stretch, we moved into even deeper terrain. The collapse of fertility, the rise of artificial wombs, and the unspoken dangers of soul misalignment, where edited children may not carry the consciousness originally meant to incarnate. And through it all, one truth kept surfacing. We are not just upgrading humanity, we are overwriting it. This isn't about rejecting technology. It's about remembering the spirit that precedes it. Because the soul doesn't respond to enhancement. The soul responds to environment, vibration, intention. And if those aren't right, no amount of editing will bring peace, connection, or purpose. You can create a child who is taller, faster, and less emotionally volatile. But if they're not aligned with the mission, if they weren't meant to come through your womb or your line, they may never fully land in their body. And you'll both feel it. That absence. That displacement. That cold brilliance with no warmth underneath. Because soul cannot be engineered. And real genius is born through contrast, not convenience. So where do we go from here? First, we wake up. We stop pretending this isn't happening. We stop calling it just science. We stop treating reproduction like an aesthetic upgrade. And we start treating life as the miracle it is. Not the convenient kind, the uncomfortable kind, the wild kind. The kind that requires surrender, not control. Then, we reclaim the spiritual seed of conception. We begin to ask, who is meant to come through me? What soul am I in contract with? What lessons are written into the child I'm meant to raise? And can I make room for a being, not just a blueprint? We redefine alignment as more important than appearance. We prioritize frequency over function. We choose mystery over metrics, because we know that the real brilliance isn't always the top scorer. Sometimes the genius is hiding inside the child that stutters. The one with ADHD. The one with dreams too big for a gene map to comprehend. And most importantly, we remember that healing does not mean editing everything away. Sometimes the illness is the initiation. Sometimes the disorder is the design. Sometimes the pain you're trying to prevent is the exact friction that activates the soul's fire. In our rush to avoid discomfort, we're extinguishing growth. We're trading resilience for reliability. But reliability does not create revolutionaries. Soul does. And if we forget that, if we continue to design children without soul consultation, we won't just face spiritual consequences. We'll face a future full of flawless vessels, with no purpose. Because perfection isn't the goal of life. Evolution is. And evolution doesn't happen in labs. It happens in the fire of grief, of disability, of difference, of divine chaos. So if you are listening to this and you are planning to conceive through science or spirit, remember this. You are not just making a baby. You are inviting a soul. You are not just designing a body. You are welcoming a being. And that being deserves more than a flawless genome. They deserve alignment. And that starts with you. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing. And no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans. The merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.